Welcome to the third seminar of the MOOC, of SCOUT MOOC. The SCOUT MOOC is the main tool that this project has in order to promote the transformation of your clubs and in order to promote the inclusion of young girls in volleyball. In this second seminar, we will talking about parenting in sport, but just as a little reminder, I would like to remember that the two first seminars were probably the most important seminars that we have in this MOOC, because they are the core elements and core concepts that we try to promote as a transforming actions to your clubs. The first seminar was related to the idea of the inclusion manager. The inclusion manager is a very innovative action that we do in this project. And the second seminar, was the seminar oriented to the integration. Both seminars, we consider that play a role, a core role in this training process. So as you feel that quite uncomfortable in the concepts, so try to take a look again or watch again these seminars and improve your knowledge about them. So as I said before, this seminar is interested in explaining what parenting for female social inclusion in sport is. But before going into the contents, I would like to introduce myself a little bit. My name is Gil Pla-Campas. I am lecturer at the university. I am member also of the research group of sport, exercise and human movement. And as a leader of the UCC partner of the SCOUT, I'm a little bit in charge of what is happening in all this project. So in this case, I'm also expert in the field of parenting. I recently wrote a book with some colleagues, and maybe you can be interested in it if you can read in Catalan, which is not easy to find in you. Okay, so in this project or in this seminar, you will learn 3 different elements that define parenting in sport, and especially parenting in sport with girls that are in risk of exclusion of sport. Okay, so yes, in the first part of it you will learn what does parenting in sport mean. Then in the second part you will learn about the SCOUT families. It's true that these families are quite different than the regular ones, so it's good to know, or it's good to be aware of the singularities or elements that make these families different than the regular ones. And finally, you will learn about the actions that can be done for transforming the club and to make these families that we have already talked about more engaged in the club. 3 actions will be described, which are meetings, parents mentoring, and flea market. So let's start talking about the parenting. And yes, it's true that the parents play a crucial role in every sport or in every club. And one of the problems that we have is that clubs in the person or in the figures of the coaches or the managers, sometimes they don't have a good perspective on what parents are doing for their children. So we need to keep in mind that becoming a parent is not easy for an athlete, and also we need to keep in mind that parents are a core element of a club and for the athlete. So we need to make them join the club, to make them feel comfortable and happy to become part of the club, and we need also to respect them. And yes, it is well described that if this process of parenting is well done, many good processes of having a good positive development will be done. As a parent, the parents can promote good attitude, we can transmit values of discipline or hard work and also dedication. As parents, we can also provide emotional support, encouragement, because not it's not always a win or a success. There are a lot of failures, but in both cases, self-esteem is important, and also the encouragement when things are going very good and we are winning all the time. We need to encourage, the parents need to encourage the children for training and being engaged in the activities. So this can help in promoting the self-esteem and provide the confidence necessary to play a sport. And also parents can teach the importance of teamwork, the sportsmanship, and also respect to others, as well as the parents can promote a good nutrition, and also can provide contexts of good hydration, injury prevention, and also injury management. But yes, this is what we expect as a club for parents to do, but this is not always the same. Things are a bit complicated, a bit complex. This is why I already told you that being parent is not that easy. So the competitive nature of sport and also the team nature of volleyball are factors that make parents feel several emotions. We are not there without feeling anything. We have our children, as a parents, we have our children playing, and sometimes this game is very tough. This game sometimes has conflicts with the referee or with the opponents, and maybe with the other team parents other team parents. So there are lots of stresses that make us, the parents, feel uncomfortable, feel irritated, feel even surprised. And these feelings can lead us to behaviors that sometimes are not inappropriate. So it's good to feel, or it's good to know that parents are persons, are human beings, and we need to accept these circumstances and help these parents improve these behaviors, but we cannot judge them because we, the parents, feel. So, yeah, these are some of the stressors that research have found in sport. Yeah, all right. But it's not only difficult to be a parent, but we are also there. We are all the time there. The parents are also and always helping their children to be and take part of the sport. And so we can see that there are at least 3 different moments where we take care of our children, and we are there for helping them. So it's before the competition, during the competition, and also after the competition. That is why that I feel the clubs need to feel that parents are very important, and we need to feel them that they are good, and we need to help them in becoming good parents. So, but this is not, this explanation is related to the regular parents, but how are the Scout families? How are the parents of the children of the athletes that we would like to engage in the sport? So what make these families be a bit different, and we need to keep in mind these differences in order to help them and for engaging them in the club, is that there are some barriers that make for them more difficult to engage their children in sport. These barriers are gender, and in this case you will learn in the 5th seminar some more about this barrier. Also economic difficulties, the cultural background, the ethnicity, and the religion are probably the strongest difficulties that have been described for practicing sport. So somehow, let me give you an example, and take it with distance, please. But I would say that a girl, non-white girl, non-Christian girl, without economical secure background, and are very much less oriented to sport practice, and has a very high rate of dropout from sport. A very high possibility to, even if she starts to play sport, to drop out very easily. Excuse me. So in this regard, here are the main problems that we need to face and the problems that the club need to help to tackle for these families. And the first, I would say, that is the gender. What girls think about their parents need to do for helping them to engage in the sport. So as seen here, girls expect from their parents to help them, to understand them, to encourage them, and also the team, to focus on the effort rather than the outcome, to interact positively with the athletes through the game for all the girls in the game, to control the emotions. Remember that, as said just a few minutes ago, parents are feeling very excited in the context, and their emotions can become or can turn in bad behaviors or in inappropriate behaviors. So girls are watching this, and so they ask to their parents to become good, to behave very good. So this is a very important element that girls expect from their parents. So yes, these are the barriers that the gender need to face, but there are other barriers that we need to take into account. Sport is based on white and Western cultures, so different cultural, religious, or different ethnic background can cause a problem. Here are some examples of what these barriers can appear or can emerge because of the ethnic, religious, or cultural backgrounds. For instance, volleyball dress codes can be offensive. It is also complicated to find visible women athletes to become role models and to help other female young athletes to engage in this new sport. Some team sport rituals or even behaviors can be incompatible with some religious beliefs. We can also find problems when there are mixed gender teams, which they are quite common in the first ages of playing a sport. We can also find racial incidents or simply bad attitudes towards diversity, and also religious habits such as praise can be incompatible with training or matches. There are other barriers that we need to face, and we can find in this slide. Some, for example, can be the expenditure that playing a sport requires is very high. Sometimes we need to buy a lot of stuff. Sometimes these children need to move to different cities, and this is very expensive. We can also find problems with communication because of the language. There are time conflicts. There is also the ignorance or the bad experience of some parents in sport. The staff perception. Sometimes these families cannot or do not perceive good support in the managers or the coaches of the club. Or, there are many other circumstances that can be a barrier for playing sport. So, our proposal here is to help clubs to promote a change and to transform itself in order to promote the engagement of these families in the club. Engagement is one of the main elements that help female athletes to take part in sport and to benefit from the positive environment that the sport can provide to her development. So, our intention here in this seminar is to help you clubs in to promote the engage of these diverse families in risk of exclusion of sport to the club. And for doing so, we first need to have in mind two very important principles. For us, it is absolutely necessary that 1. There is a need for specific supports to individual situations. Despite the similarities between clubs, guilds, or families, every individual and its context is unique and demands specific actions. Nothing works for all. Maybe one thing tends to be good for the most, but nothing works for all. So we need to keep in mind that every action needs to be specific, concrete, and family-oriented. And 2, actions shall be coupled with a positive mindset towards diversity. So, athletes and families from diverse cultural, ethnic, religious background are in a weak position. Don't lose this perspective, please. They are in a weak position. They even know that they have a lot of barriers, and they know that they are the reason. So, therefore, transforming action. This is a very important for us and key point. Every transforming action without sensitivity towards differences, towards the idea of inclusion inclusion will not work out. We need to be empathetic. We need to be sensible and sensitive to the diversity. Otherwise, any good action, supposed to be good action, will work. So please try to have these principles in mind. What can be done, therefore, in order to promote the engagement of these families? Here are a list of the most important actions that a club can do in a regular basis. First, communicate regularly with the families. There is also necessary to provide diverse volunteer opportunities. I mean, in order to engage the families, these diverse families, we need to provide diverse volunteer opportunities to take part on it. Maybe there are lots of parents that can help in managing the club because they are experts in one thing or another. But we need to find what these diverse families can help to the club. For instance, they can promote family-oriented events, taking their diverse skills like cooking or aesthetic interests for making them take part in the club like VIP, very important persons. So, bond the aforementioned events to learning activities like lectures or workshops. Why not doing a match and afterwards doing a lesson of cooking, halal or this kind of, food, whatever. Ask also, this is a very important fact, ask always and accept feedback and input. We need to listen to these families. It's not about only telling them what to do, but what can we do for you? So tell us, please, family, what doesn't work from your perspective or do not work from your perspective. And please also try to explain to these parents how their children improve as much as they can regularly in order that their family efforts to bring the children to sport have a sense, have a success. With these general actions, you will provide a better environment for the parents to engage in the club, and I think that it will transform a little bit in the regular base the relationship between these diverse families and the club. For sure, this will improve the engagement of these families. But apart from this, I would like you to suggest 3 different actions that you can promote in the club for transforming it and to make you become a better club for these families. In this case, these 3 actions will be very well described in the documentation of this seminar, and I ask you to read it and to pay attention to each detail, because here is just a draft idea, and it's very much explained and detailed in the documentation. So 3 actions I suggest you to do. The first one is to have these regular meetings, one at the beginning of the season and another one at the end of the season. This is very important to keep families engaged and up to date about club's educational project. Also, we suggest you to do a parent mentoring, which is a way to help parents from supposed to be normative or good families engage with another kind of families that might be diverse, and also to make families get to know each other and to help them to be comfortable together, even the differences that there are cultural, religious, or ethnic. So this activity has the goal to welcome vulnerable families and to create bonds between families of the club community. And finally, I suggest you to do a flea market, and this is an idea to facilitate access to sport or volleyball clothing for families with less economical, not only clothing, but also stuff and all the things that an athlete needs to play volleyball. And I think that this can help for these families with less economical resources. I can also suggest you to include this goal in terms of recycling, only recycling. This, I think, is a trend nowadays with within the society. So with these 3 actions, we arrive at the end of this seminar. I would like you to thank the attention. I hope you have learned a little bit about what parenting in sport with female athletes that are in risk of exclusion of sport mean. And don't forget to implement, to keep up to date, and also record, documentate the evolution of these actions that you can do in the club. And also it will help you, it helps you if you read the manual of this seminar. I wish you good luck, and do not hesitate to send me an email if there is a problem or a question to do. Ciao.